before the battery ran out. That bus stop sign. Where I am now, the church. There's not a lot of information there. There is a Ukrainian colours ribbon, which is nice of them. So, you know, it's okay to not hate this church. So far as I know. Fairly fresh flowers, unless those are plastic, because they're still fairly recent. And recent gravestones. Place is still in use. Yes, you can visit it. Parish Council. Doesn't actually tell me much about the church. However, the church is also a landmark. Isn't that nice? Isn't that lovely? You can't read that, can you? Because of the right background. Anyway, significant point about this church and this primary school and this village green is that they are the landmarks which, if you are coming from the direction of York, you could come up the north side of the river to Borough Bridge, cross the river, and you'd have to come up the road to this point. There is no riverside footpath to this point. There is on the other side, but it just stops and you can't go any farther without going onto road. So instead, come up the road on this side of the river to Roecliffe, turn right at this sign, and you're going this way. If anyone is into it, inscriptions on gravestones. Some of them easier to read than others. What the heck is that one? That white one. Hmm. 30th September 1944, aged 20. There's another one here. Flight Lieutenant, 13th of January 1941, aged 28, DFC. Also died 1940, but age 82. So I guess nobody who knew them is worried about the weeds. Think that was somebody special or just somebody rich? 1872, aged 47 over there. And here's Roecliffe's historic church, which is presumably just like the other historic churches, age and size. It's got a Mary in the end, so may at some point have been Catholic. But anyway, the reason for showing you this is so that I can show you that you turn right at that sign back there and you come to this farmyard. Yeah. And then you go through this way and through this bit and through the currently kind of decrepit gate, which kind of sort of can be shut if you're muscular enough, and down here. And from here, it's not right obvious, is it? Oh, good grief. The ground isn't right obvious if I point the camera at the sky and it adjusts the light balance for the sky. Anyway, the river is down behind those trees. There's a double fence down there. Don't go that way, and don't just go past the end of them either. That doesn't work too well. Also, don't go off that way. There's No good reason to do so. You want to follow this little mowed bit through the grass, heading for the lone tree here. Here's hoping it survives at least as long as this video does. Currently rather windy, and I didn't bring my dead cat, so apologies for any wind noise going on. This field is grazed by sheep, so watch your step. But at least sheep keep the place clear of a certain problem. They do not keep the place clear of Himalayan balsam. That's the tall stuff with the hollow stems and the purple flowers here. All of that purple stuff is one particular weed, and it's an annual. It grows from seed, it flowers, it fruits, it dies. You see how densely it's growing? There's almost nothing is able to grow in the shade between those stems. So when that stuff dies, there is going to be nothing growing on that bit of riverbank. Then it rains and the river rises, or it just rains right here, and the riverbank gets washed away. This is not good. Close-up time. Oh, look. You can tell there are humans around because they leave shit everywhere. This stuff. Here, right here, is one of the fruit pods. And it's not ripe yet. There's one up there that might be. But I don't really want to fall in the ditch reaching for it. Oi! Can I? The wind is taking the... There we go. It didn't burst, but it did come apart. These seeds are still unripe. You can see they're still white and pale brown. When they're ripe, they're medium to dark brown and then black. And as they ripen, this fruit pod will shrink and twist around them. So when it's disturbed, it bursts, and it can actually throw those things several meters. And I just threw them to a place where it wasn't already growing, which wasn't right smart of me. Should have eaten them, because this thing is actually edible. All of this, for anyone who's trying to get across England on a very limited budget, or arrived in Calais and is trying to get the family in Manchester, if you see this along the way, you can eat these plants, and in fact we would appreciate it if you did. This little bee right here wouldn't. The bees quite like Himalayan balsam, it's quite generous with the nectar. Stinging nettle, not really dangerous, just kind of itchy. It's one of the few things that can grow alongside this. Yeah, if you are going to eat it, I would recommend sort of man's waist height. Cut it off slightly above a man's waist height and eat what's above that. Don't eat the bits below that, someone might have pissed on it. That being said, out of that field there is a gate. See this side? There is a gate leading to the next field. The next field has a cereal crop in it. And more balsam. Significant difference here, significance of a cereal crop is that this place hasn't been grazed by sheep. It's been utterly obliterated by something in a few areas. Things have happened to this crop. I don't know whether a dog played in it or a deer got in here and slept on top of it or what, but not having sheep here means that things that can't grow in that field back there, because sheep eat them, can grow here. And that's a bit of a worry. This is a willow tree, this is fine, this is a native plant, it's salix, as in salicylic acid, also known as aspirin. The sheep tend to eat it up to, you know, as far as they can comfortably reach, but if it's taller than that, it'll survive, that's fine. The problem, just step real carefully in here, see the giant stem here, and this one. Those stems are giant hogweed. See the giant leaf there, there's a yellowish one, there's a green one there. Pink flower, huge green leaf with very jagged edges. That's giant hogweed. Looks a lot like wild carrot or cow parsley, they're in the same family. Distinctive feature of it is red dots on the stem. It starts off green, but as it gets taller and taller, the older and older bits of stem get more and more red dots until they're almost solid purple. And giant hogweed is really bad news. Just, like, don't touch it, don't let it fall on you, don't bite it, don't lick it, don't nibble it, don't let it touch you, don't get anywhere near it, don't let your children get near it, don't let your dogs get near it. Here you go, this thing. That's a fairly young plant. You saw the stems back there from plants that weren't grown tall enough to produce flower heads. Until somebody comes around and knocks the flower heads off to stop it setting seed. Which is very helpful of someone. Actually very law-abiding of someone, it's illegal to let it set seed. I don't see any whole specimens on here, but I have seen the stuff growing on the path here. So if you are coming this way, be wary of the giant hogweed, like really wary. This ain't giant hogweed, this is something else. I don't know what this is, but it has whole leaves, not those sawtooth-edged, fingered leaves. So I'm not worried about this one. I'm not going to go eating it, but I'm not worried about it. Oh, there's a green giant hogweed stem at the edge of the tree. There. That's another one that's been decapitated. So it grows that tall. And it is very, very toxic and harmful by touch. From here up, this path is really obvious. It goes like this up the side of a field, and then through some woods, and up the side of a field and through some woods. There's only one place where it's not really obvious, and I'll show you that when I get there. Should we finish on the Himalayan balsam? Should I just give you a minute of footage of Himalayan balsam swaying in the breeze? Very scenic, very Yorkshire. Very struggling bumblebee down there that nearly landed on it and then got blown away. There's Roecliffe.